investors pondering whether to place a wild bet on GM staying out of bankruptcy, they got a clear message today. Don't do it. 6 senior executives with General Motors are dumping their entire holdings in the car maker. The stock trades at $1.15 a share. Looks like a sign of surrender to me. This, even as Ford Motor Company is floating 300 million new shares of common stock. Ford just priced 300 million shares at $4.75 apiece. That plan pummeled the shares of Ford today, down 17%. Ouch. Shares of Ford now trade about $5. So does this mean the end of the auto industry is near? Are these guys really throwing in the towel? Jim Shrayer is former global sales chief with Chrysler, who also ran marketing at Ford. Peter Flaherty is with the National Legal and Policy Center. Peter, let's start with you. Got to tell you, Bob Lutz, that man loves that company, and he just disposed of all of his shares. He obviously thinks that GM's going into Chapter 11 and shareholders get crushed.
Well, that's right. Whether GM goes into bankruptcy or stays out of bankruptcy, the future for the company is very bleak. I don't think Bob Lutz and his colleagues are geniuses. I don't think they can parlay this move into an investment newsletter. They're just facing reality. The government has this plan where they'll issue 60 billion new shares of stock, and that the existing equity holders will get to split up 1% of what's left. The U.S. government and the United Auto Workers grab the rest of the company. So
that is ugly. That is ugly indeed, Peter. Hey, Jim, what are the idea of the captain going down with the ship?
Well, you know, bankruptcy is an ugly thing. I mean, it's like a bad series of trips to the dentist. But when it works, you can get a great set of teeth coming out of it. But the people that get hurt the most, that feel the most pain in a bankruptcy, are the shareholders. And you see that today. So, yes, you know, Bob sold his shares for a little over $1. But in bankruptcy, of course, they'd be worth 0.
Well, but this isn't a real bankruptcy.
If you're him, why not?
Well, of course, this is not a real bankruptcy. This is a Barack Obama political bankruptcy. In a real bankruptcy, a judge would be the referee for the competing claims. But in this case, we have a prepackaged bankruptcy that's probably imminent, where the United Auto Workers
are just getting handed
a preferred status, even though on the pecking order, they're at the same level of the unsecured creditors. So, you know, they'll come out of this, but the things that got this company into trouble in the beginning have not been addressed, and that's why the company's ultimately going to fail.
Jim, you would agree with that, wouldn't you? You say these companies can't yet prove that they can make a profit on small cars.
Dennis, I told you last time we were on, I think this is an historic chance to make them succeed. I really do. That through a managed or prepackaged bankruptcy, we get the labor costs down, to get the union to be real on cost, and now they're going to be a part owner. They're going to have to be a part owner of getting their own costs down.
Oh, yeah,
that's a historic opportunity to
Peter,
make those small cars here in the United States.
What you're going to get is government workers in union-controlled plants building cars designed by environmentalists.
Right. You see
the result may look
Peter.
a lot like the Yugo.
Peter, talk about the corruption you see coming in this process.
Well, I think we're on the verge of massive corruption when you dump this much money into a company that's essentially union-owned and allow them to dump all this money into something called the VEBA, which I believe has always been the point of these bailouts, to save the VEBA, even if there are no more unionized auto workers in this country, to preserve another generation of union boss jobs and political influence, even after there's no more auto workers.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Look, Jim and Peter, I appreciate you being here very much. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.